What's going on, guys? It's Ryan, and today we're going to discuss my theory on the mid-credits scene from Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. But before we get into that, please drop down, grab the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit that like button if you like Marvel content. I do a lot of it on this channel, and we're going to be doing even more. So, Crystal and I saw the film last night, and we're going to do our review on that hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow, depending on time. And so stay tuned for that. So let's go ahead and set up the scene. So right before the film ends, Shang-Chi and Katie are in a bar with the couple that is from earlier in the film when they were talking about, she was telling them they need to get their lives together, etc. So they're in the bar with this couple. So now Shang-Chi and Katie are the ones that have the good stories. So they're telling about the adventures. They fought this mystical creature. They did all this stuff. Katie was using the bow and arrow, and the friends just aren't having it. So Wong just shows up, opens a portal, and starts calling for Shang-Chi in the bar. So he walks in, takes Shang-Chi and Katie back to the Sanctum or Camartage. It's not really clear at the moment where they go. It looks like it could be the Sanctum, but it could also be Camartage. And then the film ends. So now we cut to the mid-credit scene. So Wong is in this area, room, library with Katie and Shang, but also we see Dr. Banner and Carol Danvers. Now, Banner and Danvers aren't actually there in person, but they're in the blue hologram communication style that we saw in Endgame. Now, one thing that I noticed was that Dr. Banner is in his human form with a sling on his right arm. That sling we saw from Endgame when he snapped and brought everybody back. But more importantly, he's in his human form. So it's kind of confusing because I took it, and I think a lot of people have taken that Dr. Banner was Smart Hulk and Smart Hulk only from this point forward. So he's figured out a way how to get back to his human form. Now, we have the She-Hulk series coming up, and we know that Jennifer Walters in the comics has the ability to move from her human form into She-Hulk form whenever she wants. So perhaps with him giving her blood, as he does in the comics, to turn her into She-Hulk, that drained him a little bit, and maybe she has kind of taught him how to be able to do that. We also see that Carol has long hair in this scene, which is different than the bob cut that she had in Endgame. So this scene has to take place a good amount of time after Endgame. So we're probably talking maybe a few months, potentially maybe, I wouldn't say a year, I'd say maybe 4 to 6 months. Maybe longer, I don't know. So, Wong begins to explain that they have no record of these rings in their codex in Camartage. That when Shang-Chi began to use them, that they felt it in Camartage, which is different because when you think about it, Wenwu was able to use these rings for thousands of years, and the sorcerers had no idea what was going on. So that's our first kind of clue that something is up with Shang-Chi using these rings. He also goes on to explain that the energy is absolutely off the charts, and he starts magnifying the rings to reveal that they are sending off a beacon or a signal to something. Now, we don't get an idea of what that something is, and that's really where this video is going, this theory is going. So Wong turns to Banner, kind of asks his opinion for it. Banner just kind of fumbles around, doesn't really know much. He just questions if the Chitauri are involved, saying are these Chitauri origin? And Danvers says there's no alien tech, that they aren't. She has a little scanner there that she's looking at on her side of the communication. So then Banner asks Shang-Chi when his father got them, and Shang-Chi says about 1,000 years ago. Now, this is the first clue that leads into my theory that these aren't a weapon of Kang, these aren't a weapon of any kind of dragon or Fing Fang Foom. I don't think that. What I think these are, I think these were a weapon left by the Celestials from the Eternals. Now, if you recall from the Eternals trailer, it says that the Eternals came to Earth about 7,000 years ago. It's either Cersei or Ajax that says that in the trailer. Not really sure which one says it, but it is mentioned. Now, that could mean that the second or third host of the Celestials came to Earth. They left behind these rings to alert the Celestials of something on Earth, or could be the Deviants, because the Eternals are supposed to ward off the deviants on Earth. Or could be another weapon to ward off a potential greater cosmic threat, say like a Galactus or along that nature. Now, from the trailer in Eternals, we know that they have 7 days to stop something. Ajax is talking with Icarus. Icarus says, how much time do we have? She says 7 days. We don't know what that threat is. We assume that threat is the deviants. Could it be something larger than the deviants? I don't know. So, expanding on this, I believe that at some point around 1,000 years ago, Wen Wu stumbled upon the tomb of the space gods and discovered the rings. Now, in the movie, he said it's said early on in the movie that he found those rings in a tomb or crater, and that could very well be the tomb of the space gods that we see in Eternals issue number 1. And we'll talk more about that in another video. So, cut back to the mid-credits scene. So, Danvers gets a notification on her comm links, and that's it. She's out. She's gone. So, she gives the funny line, Bruce has my number. Bruce is like, I ain't got her number. So she leaves. Banner leaves right after that, but he looks at Shang-Chi and Katie and says, welcome to the circus. Meaning it's kind of an informal invitation to the Avengers, saying, welcome to all the craziness that's going on. So Wong tells both Shang-Chi and Katie, it's probably best if you go home, get some sleep. Shang-Chi goes, or... And then it cuts to the three of them singing karaoke to Eagles Hotel California, which is the end of the scene. So we've got a nice little mid-credit scene here that's setting up something for the future. And the next movie, of course, is the Eternals. Anytime I'm thinking thousands of years ago, my first thought are Celestials. Could it be something that Arsham the Judge left or another Celestial? We don't know. But what we do know are the Celestials are going to play a major role in the Eternals film. So that's my theory. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I appreciate you guys listening. Please grab that subscribe button at the bottom. Please like the video. We're going to do a lot of Marvel content on this channel. Crystal does all of her dresses and her purses reviews. You guys know you guys love those videos. She's all the time doing them. And I appreciate y'all listening, and we will see you in the next video.